got a big mouth. Came out there. I talk from my heart. I'm real. You know what I'm saying? Whatever comes. But my controversy probably. And it's not my fault. I'm trying to find my way in the world. You know, I'm trying to be somebody instead of just make money off everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so I go down paths that haven't been traveled before, and I usually mess up. But I learn, you know what I'm saying? I come back stronger. You know, I'm not talking ignorant, you know what I'm saying? So I obviously put thought into what I do. Your karma, everything that you do bad comes back to you. So anything that I'm doing that's bad, I'm going to have to suffer for it. But in my heart, I think what I'm doing is right. You know what I mean? And I think heaven is just, when you sleep with a good conscience. You don't have nightmares. And hell is...
What's going on, everyone? I'm so happy you decided to join me on this journey called Podcast Life. We will be discussing topics like celebrity gossip, life lesson, politics, and etc. This is a judge-free zone. Think of me as that homegirl that is so down to earth that you feel like you've been knowing for years. Remember, over here at the Boomerang Effect, the motto is never judge a book by its cover before opening it up and reading it. And remember, it's okay to agree to disagree. Just stand on what you're saying. Got it? Period. Please like, comment, share, give feedback, anything to help this podcast grow, because it is a voice for the people. So, love, peace, and unity. Mwah. What's going on, everyone? It is your girl, Queen Quee, and this is Hot Topics. Let's jump right on into it. Korean superhead Stephens recounts alleged hookups with young Michael B. Jordan, Chris Brown, and Trey Songz. Even claims one tried to urinate on her. Let's get into the video.
I had Michael B. Jordan when he was probably 18. His mother did not like that, but Ben had him. He all news, and also it was fine. It was all right. Oh, I had him, and then I had my friend John Murray on the phone listening. Mm-hmm. Oh my god. It's a mess, a fucking mess, and oh my god. And so my friend John Murray, who's a journalist, I had him on the phone listening while we did our thing at the hotel, and then he and I went to a party together, like after the Emmys. I don't know, some award show we went to afterward. I don't know, something. But his mom was not happy, and then Chris Brown I had when he was, I hope he was 18. Ooh. Girl. I think he was. I don't know. Listen, it wasn't my idea. Limitations is in full effect. I believe he was 18 or 19. I just don't know. I had Michael B. Jordan. It wasn't my idea. Limitations is in full effect. I believe he was 18 or 19. I just don't know for sure. I can't lie. He told me he was 18 or 19. He was. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie, because he was. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I think he was very young, and it wasn't my idea, and he snuck up on me. I was wearing a dress, and he snuck up on me. In my defense, he took advantage. But I liked it. But also, I didn't see it coming. My back was turned. I was cleaning out my tub. And he took advantage. And so I didn't pursue. He took advantage. He pursued you. Girl, did he ever. Okay. But it was a long time ago. Okay. I got so much tea, girl. And Trey Songz tried to pee on me for my birthday. And I was like, Trey, that's not how birthdays work. I'm screaming. It was like my 38th birthday. Like, it wasn't my idea. Limitation.
Okay, that is Korean Stephens, and then whoever does not know her, she did a book a while back ago, and it was called The Video Vixen. And it was so crazy because this was probably like the first person that I recalled. I want to say I probably was in my early 20s when that book came out. I'm not for sure. But she was the only person that I recalled that actually did like a raw, uncut tell-all book, to the point where people was threatening her livelihood. You know, this book was ruining relationships, friendships, and, families. Because, she talked about Shaq. She talked about P. Diddy, Exhibit, Usher, like a lot of celebrities that was in the industry, Ja Rule and his manager Irv Gotti. So she was saying like how she had these different relationships with them and she slept with them. Now the crazy thing about it is now 2021, and Corinne Stephen still have stories that she still to this day have not even put in not one of her book, but two. Because remind you, she had a second book, and she talked about Lil Wayne and some more other people. So a lot of people was like, "Why is she talking?" or "Why, what is the deal on the situation?" This is the reason why I want people to understand. People gonna do stuff for clout. It's easy for us to blame Corinne Stephen because she's a known groupie. She was known for doing sex tapes and doing all type of salacious. They called her Superhead, and the reason why they called her Superhead is because she was a fool with it. So people were trying to figure out, like, oh, is she trying to do a comeback? Is this something that, you know what I'm saying, like, she just consistently spilling the tea? Like, what's her purpose of doing it? Me personally, I think that at the end of the day, she probably still have so many stories to tell that she haven't even uncovered. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people was making a big deal because they was up there saying like, well, it sounded like she's a pedophile because she was sitting up here sleeping with Chris Brown and Michael B. Jordan when they was both 18 and 19 or whatever. And let's just keep it real. And I hate when people sit up here and try to do that. First of all, because somebody was like, well, she's just like Bill Cosby. What makes her different from Bill Cosby and R. Kelly? The difference is that she did not have to persuade these adult men, because regardless of the fact, anywhere probably around the world, you are a legal age when you're 18. She didn't start messing with them when they was 16, 15, 14. If it was so, they ain't came out and never said it. And let's just keep it real. By the time they was 18, Corinne Stephen had already came out with these books and let it be known what she does in the industry and how she got on and the type of ruthless stuff that she have done to get to the top. So I really feel like a lot of this stuff was aimed, like a lot of these celebrity dudes sleep with her because they sleeping with her for clout. What you think? Do you honestly think that they still dealing with I'm sorry, they still dealing with Corinne Stephen because she's such a sweet, nice person, or do you think that they're sleeping with her because they know that when she name drop you, people are going to start doing research, people want to know more about you, and etc. etc. So it's easy for us to sit up here and say she wants attention and she's this and she's that. I honestly do not think she wants attention. I think that she was on a podcast. It was more so of a vocal podcast. And of course, when you bring someone like that on your show, it's different questions that you're going to ask. This is what she was known for spilling the tea. So even I just remember back in the day watching a lot of Corinne Stephen interviews. And don't get me wrong, people were so quick to bash this lady and go in on her, but she was really very educated. And I remember her being so annoyed because it was kind of like, you guys are just taking pieces of my story and then you want to keep on like coming on the radio or you want to give me an interview and you ain't even did your research. So it was kind of like, I like the way she conducted a lot of her interviews because it was like she wasn't going for the BS. Like if you did not read the book and was able to actually ask her different type of questions or give her details about the book versus you just sitting up here telling her, well, they said you slept with Diddy and how was it? And why it is? No, ask me different type of questions that probably lead up to the scenario. I'm already clearly an open book. So I just wanted to know, like, do you feel like that a lot of dudes are sleeping with Corinne Stephen to this day because the simple fact is that of her name and her title, and they know that they'll get a lot of publicity off of it? Or do you feel that, at the end of the day, she's a cloud chaser and she does that so she can basically run back and get attention? But we just cannot put the blame on her alone. It takes two. So just like what she said with Chris Brown and the rest of these celebrities been knowing about Corinne Stephen. And for Chris Brown to want to sit up here and bust her down in the middle of her, running water or doing something and you coming out behind her trying to let her know you the man, clearly you wanted that to be somewhere in the book or for her to talk about it. So for her just to be coming out of it in 2021 and speaking on it or whatever, I don't think she really cared. Because remind you, that's why I tell people all the time, stop looking up to these groupies, video vixen, Instagram models and stuff like that. They said something. First of all, they post all these thirst traps. They're beautiful women, but at the end of the day, you do not know the history and the lengths that they go to live a certain lifestyle. Almost every female or Instagram model and all these people with all these likes and stuff like that, they have some type of deep, dark-rooted secret behind closed doors. Let's just keep it real. Corinne Stephen had messed with so many successful men, and then when you finally did sit up here and settle down, you end up settling it down for Eddie Winslow off of Family Matters. Now that he dang transgenders, now he came out and opened dating transgenders, which is nothing wrong with it, but it's just crazy because it was like, even when she was doing interviews, I can just remember her being so overwhelmed and stressed and feel like, oh my God, he's not at this level. You was a ride or die. But then you sit up here and had history of sleeping and being around some of the top people in the industry, from Jay-Z on over. You see what I'm saying? So definitely be very mindful of that. Like when you guys are quick to be like, I wish I had it like her, this and that. You don't never want to sit up here and wish that you had somebody else's lifestyle, because think about this, nobody's really going to tell you the good things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, not the good things. Nobody's really going to tell you the bad things. It's a persona. So when y'all get up under people pictures, couples and everything, talking about goals, why would they show you everything? They just probably hide their dirt a little bit better. No one's perfect. Anyways, moving along. So, DaBaby received backlash for shocking homophobic HIV remarks at Rolling Loud. Okay, yesterday, pretty much everyone saw DaBaby get a little Adidas shoe thrown at him during his Rolling Loud set. Well, several people claim the shoe was thrown after some interesting comments he made. If you didn't show up today with HIV and AIDS or any of them deadly sexual transmitted disease, then put your cell phone lighters up. Ladies, if your kitty cat smell like water, put your cell phone lighter up. Fellas, if you ain't sucking male parts in the parking lot, put your cell phone's lighter in up. So okay, so basically DaBaby had a show at Rolling Loud. He had a show at Rolling Loud, and he was performing and stuff like that. And in the middle of his performance, he just excuse my language, but he just made a comment about, if you don't have HIV, put your lighters in her. If you don't have AIDS, if you don't have STDs, put your lighters, a phone, or whatever in the air. And so, of course, the next following day, he got a lot of backlash. DaBaby to this day is still having backlash. By the time I released this podcast, this man then already apologized at least 4 times. You see what I'm saying? He has been dropped from at least over 5 or 6 festivals. And they're not dealing with Lil Baby. They're really trying to show him and use him as an example of basically spreading hate. Okay, so a transgender named T.S. Madison, she's a well-known comedian. Well, not comedian, she's well-known, like in the industry. So she said, she tweeted him and she said, DaBaby, what was the reason? Do you know how many gays truly buy and stream your music? And do you the amount of people who are living, do you know, that's what she meant to say, do you know the amount of people who are living with HIV/AIDS that you attack for nothing? Then the gays break their necks to be at events like that, to be completely disrespected. So DaBaby had made a following. This is what he said the day after, he got a lot of backlash from the industry. This is what he said.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what I do at a live show is for the audience at the live show. It'll never translate correctly to somebody looking at a little 5-6 second clip from their goddamn crib on their phone. It just don't work like that. Like, because regardless of which, it ain't at the show. The show is paid the money and took the time out of their life to come enjoy the show. was watching it on the internet at the crib. Just get your tickets and come with the live show Killer Gay and Straight. Don't let him.
I'm sorry, I had to cut that because the clip that I'm using, they chopped it up so much because he was like cussing. He was talking low and then he was cussing. So a lot of these sites, they cannot post it, or they can get flagged or in trouble. So basically, to sum it up, he was saying that the industry, not the industry, but the blogs and different stuff twisted up his words. They took a little clip and, they twisted what he meant to say. So it's never like that he held accountability to it. First of all, at the end of the day, you said it. You said it. People cannot twist up nothing that you say. Like I said, for instance, at the beginning of my podcast and stuff like that in my intro, stand on what you saying, period. Right, wrong, or indifferent. You see what I'm saying? Like, don't get the back pulling and the pussy popping when you get the type of grief and the hassle behind it. And so with the baby, it just really disappointed me because I feel like he has been very controversial on a lot of different type of things. The biggest debate is that people feeling like, well, he has a right to have a freedom of speech. Just because he don't agree with a lifestyle doesn't make him homophobic. Just because he don't agree with a lifestyle does not mean that he should be canceled. First of all, I don't care what people sit up here and say. That was a hate speech and that was a slug. A slug is something that is that you sit up here and say indirectly. You don't put a name on it. You don't put an address to it. You just be speaking on some, if the shoe fit, word. I don't care what you sit up here and say. My opinion on the situation is that the baby is very ignorant for that comment. Because you sit up here in the middle of your set where you're rapping about sex, money, hoes, drugs, getting head, screwing, and everything else. You sit up there and stop. And then you sit up here and say, put your lighters in the air if you ain't got HIV, if you ain't got AIDS, if you ain't got STDs. So it's not even like that this man was bringing awareness to safe sex. Because don't even get me wrong. Like, I was talking to a friend of mine and we was talking about it. I was like, I can honestly see if he was trying to, incorporate something about safe sex. It's a lot of artists, even back in the day. TLC was a prime example that will put different stuff in their song relating to diseases and stuff like that. But it wasn't in a way to bash them and target them. They used to wear condoms on their eyes and everything else to represent safe sex. You see what I'm saying? Because just because you're sitting up here, first of all, it was disrespectful to sit up here and attack a disease, period. You don't know what these people have dealt with. Everybody, first, you're not getting AIDS and HIV only through gay people. You're getting it through needles. You're getting it through people that have got HIV behind one partner, somebody that they was only with one time and they end up catching the disease. It's so much different traits behind that to the point where some people was born with it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they didn't even have no choice to sit up here and live a certain type of lifestyle. These people are going to have to live for that for the rest of their life. So for them to sit up here and that's how I said and say, stop praising and idolizing these artists and stuff like that. Because I know for a fact that it hurted somebody that was in there that was dealing with a disease in general. Because remind you, he said STDs. Somebody that sit up there that probably have ever dealt or was dealing with a disease, they're feeling less of a person because at the end of the day, you excluded them. You see what I'm saying? You pointed them out and you targeted them for no reason. I don't care what people sit up here and say. That's the same way if he would have sit up here and got up there and said, well, if you ain't got lupus and sickle cell and, you know what I'm saying, if you ain't got cancer, put your light in there. Like, what is the reason? Why would you sit up here and target somebody? And people sit up here talking, well, he ain't homophobic because he expressed his opinion. No, it's homophobic when at the end of the day, you sit up here and bring up HIV and AIDS. Then you turn around and sit up here and say, if you ain't out in the parking lot sucking dick, if you are a man and you ain't in the parking lot sucking dick, then, put your lighters in the air. First of all, I want to know, why are you so detailed in your message? And I was talking to, like I said, I was talking to a friend and we was discussing this subject. And I remember saying that maybe this dude, the baby, because I noticed something in his clips. He kept on saying that he's not going to be a sellout. He kept on going against the grain when it came down to performances. Like, he performs with Tory Lanez, which Megan Thee Stallion has a restraining order out on Tory Lanez, and on top of the restraining order, she also, she had a good business relationship with the baby, so she felt betrayed. So it's kind of like, I noticed something. He kept on pushing the envelope that night with different type of tactic. And he kept on saying that I'm not gonna be, you know, like I'm not gonna sell my soul type stuff. So I feel like that he have seen so much wicked, weird stuff, because they just keep it real. They say a lot of, you know, homosexual stuff go on behind closed doors in the industry. So I feel like he was shooting a slug to dudes in the industry and, you know, people behind the closed doors, but you hit innocent targets. You hit the people that are making for sure that you have that $1 million house, making for sure that you and your kids eat and stuff like that. Because without your fans, you're nothing. I don't care how big and bad you is. These so-called celebrities, these people that celebrities that are on your level, they ain't worried about your music. They trying to push their product in their movie, they music. So at the end of the day, why in the audacity would you go up there and you're singing songs? I can see if you had a song to relate it about safe sex or something like that. You singing rap songs talking about killing and drugs and popping pussy and having sex and everything else. So that's why I stand on the situation, because a lot of people was up here trying to defend the situation. It's okay to have an opinion. Like I said, it's okay to agree to disagree. But I don't care what people sit up here and say. That was an ignorant statement. And at the end of the day, instead of him owning up to it, because people are like, well, now they want him to bear that and apologize. No, it's just the fact of realize that what you said could have hurt a lot of innocent people that did not ask. Don't nobody ask to get a disease, but they never thought in their longest years that they'll be living with that. They don't even know, you know what I'm saying? So just imagine you spending out your money to see one of your favorite artists, and the next thing you know, your artist sit up here and say something that's that basically that you're battling with in your life. So that's what I was just looking. I was looking at the bigger picture, because like I said, and say, what was the reason? Why did he just out the blue sit up here and say something like that? He didn't even have a reason for what he was saying. And then people like, well, DJs in the I was reading some comments, people talking about DJs all the time sit up here and be in the club and talk about raise your hand if you got a job and you got a car. You right. I've been in clubs where DJs sit up here and say, put your hands in the air if you got some good pussy, scream, and you know what I'm saying, if you got your own car, if you got your own job, scream. And you know what I do? Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Because at the end of the day, first of all, I don't know who watching for me to scream. So I don't need nobody following me on my way out the door and talking about, well, she said she had on a car job and a pussy good. So, and she screamed. So I'm going to go ahead and follow her and everything else. Don't make yourself a target. Real G's moving silent. Come on, somebody. I'm just saying, though, who wants to be a target? But the difference between what the DJs do versus what the baby did was the DJs are not sitting up here saying that if you ain't got HIV and STDs and AIDS and stuff like that, put your hands in the air. If you ain't sucking dick in the parking lot and you a man, put your hand in there. Like, what? They're not doing stuff like that. And I don't care what you sit up here and say. It made it even worse because people threw Lil Nas in it. And I ain't trying to be funny. Lil Nas is so, personally to me, so draining and aggravating, because I do feel like he do a lot of stuff for clout and attention. I think it's to the point where Lil Nas, it's like, it doesn't matter that you're gay. Nobody's caring that you're gay. It's just the fact of you keep on trying to put it and stamp it in our head that you're gay. Like, not trying the video that he came out where you're in the jail cell, you got you and your dancers dressed up in a pink jumpsuit, and then next thing you know, you know what I'm saying, you slinging your meat all across the thing. My whole thing with Lil Nas is the simple fact is he might have come in and said, well, it's not my job to raise your kids. That's true. But you have to understand how you got in this industry. You got in this industry through the kids. Grown folks want to sit up here listening to Town Hall Road, you gonna ride into the, it was the kids. You was up here performing in front of gyms and, you know, pep rallies and everything else. So just imagine them kids sitting over here looking at the fact of they remember you in a cowboy hat, boots and stuff like that, and now all of a sudden you in there with a 27-piece, a bad wig, nails broken, and you giving a lap dance to the devil. Make it make sense. So it's like he of course tried to insert himself in it because he just had a song come out. But it was a good point where I feel like that he made, and he was just like, because the baby, after all this happened, the baby went ahead and made a video, but he claimed he been had made the video. But in the video, you sitting up here getting oral sex, you know what I'm saying, from a white prison guard. Then you in a jail cell getting sex some more by another prison guard. And I'm just like, but you're sitting up here trying to debate something out in the wide open about AIDS and HIV and you ain't doing this and that. This is the same person that got three baby mamas, third baby on the way right now. And this is the man that y'all sitting up here taking heed for and stuff like that. So it's just like I say, since then he has really got and adored a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Since that statement was made, he tried to come back and be like, oh, well, let me say this and that, let me apologize. And he tried to apologize, but now it's too late, because it was all good when you feel like it wasn't affecting your pocket. You see what I'm saying? So when that stuff started affecting your pocket, that's when you want to apologize. Then you have to understand, a lot of people, like you have seen for yourself, because you're behind the scene, a lot of these industry people are either gay, have gay family members, or they're segregant. So it's kind of like, you have to be very mindful of what you sit up here and say. I would hate to have a loved one that is gay, and then next thing you know, we go to the baby concert because we want to have a good time. Next thing you know, he's sitting up here talking about, if you're a straight man and you ain't sucking dick in the parking lot, you know what I'm saying, put your lighters in the air. That's still offensive. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. Like, that's still offensive, because now I love my family member so bad, and they are gay, and they didn't come just to sit up here and get bashed on the mic for no reason. So, be very mindful. That's basically sums up what I was going to talk about. What are you guys thought about the baby in the situation? Because I really would love to hear you guys' comments on it. And what do you think? Do you think that he's not wrong for speaking his mind and this society is too sensitive? Or do you feel like he was all the way out of line, and at the end of the day, he should not be able to perform unless he gives a public apology? So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Love you guys a lot. Mwah!